pranksters, and troublemakers.
It's time to go viral, America. Is it going?
So we compiled the greatest clips from the great outdoors and called it Viral Outdoors.
Digicel TV, home of Rugby League. Dial *515# to subscribe.
Welcome to Lake Asasumba.
Hello, this is the Midday News. Thanks for joining us. The Department of Labour and Employment has been directed to address the long-standing minimum wage issue in the country. This call comes after Prime Minister and Treasurer James Marape met with Minister for Labour and Employment, Minister Kesi Sawang. The discussions revolved around various challenges faced by the department. In a media release, Prime Minister Marape highlighted the need to address the minimum wage issue, which had been outstanding since 2014. Minister Sawang was instructed to review the minimum wage of 3 kina 50 toya per hour to align with the escalating cost of living and changes in the consumer price index. The Prime Minister reaffirmed that a comprehensive report will be presented at the earliest opportunity to determine a fair rate that considers the plight of low-wage earners while ensuring the continued viability of our companies, particularly small businesses. Prime Minister James Marape has underscored the government's commitment to delivering development for the people of Papua New Guinea, emphasizing the responsibility of the 6 newly appointed ministers and those reshuffled. The Prime Minister made the 6 new ministerial appointments and the reshuffled cabinet last Thursday, January 18th.
Prime Minister James Marape has reminded the newly appointed ministers and those reshuffled that their job is to deliver development to the people. Marape made this call after the swearing-in of new ministers at the Government House in Port Moresby. He also highlighted the strategic placement of ministers to ensure specific sectors are revitalized and operating at full capacity. The Prime Minister further emphasized the equal importance of all ministries, stating that there is no big minister or small ministry. All ministers are the same. He said in a house of equals, some were picked ahead of others, considering regional and political party balances in the government coalition. Freddie Moe, TVWan News.
Deputy Prime Minister and Member for Ley John Rosso pledged loyalty to Prime Minister James Marape, brushing aside allegations that he and other Morobe MPs are moving away from the Pangu party. Rosso made this announcement when officially opening the Tabu Bill to Teleforming Missing Road link last Friday. They maintained that the 10 Morobe MPs will remain with Pangu Party and MP Marape into the 2027 national general elections. He added that government is intact and can only be changed on the floor of Parliament during the vote of no confidence. 6 suspects allegedly linked to the burning of Gereu's Gmart shop on Sunday 21st January were apprehended and detained at the Waigani police station for further investigation. Gmart, the only shop that survived the January 10th looting and burning in Gerahu, was destroyed in a fire yesterday. It is believed to be set ablaze by 4 juveniles and 2 adults, who are now in police custody pending further investigations into the cause of the fire. NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Silva Sika confirmed the incident yesterday afternoon. Police says the cause of the fire is yet to be established. Sika told this newsroom that a formal police report will be released after thorough investigations are completed. Metsup Sika stated that the alleged involvement of juveniles raises an alarming concern in the community. Sika raised concerns that small kids are becoming rascals, involving themselves in criminal activities. Police have appealed to parents to speak to their children about the consequences of criminal activities and its impact. In regional news, Indonesia has declared an extraordinary health alert after a polio outbreak on its densely populated island of Java. The country was supposed to be free of disease a decade ago, but health workers are now scrambling to prevent it from spreading.
At a weekend market in the city of Surabaya, health worker Piki Dwi Silastawati is looking for children.
We have 1 vial with us, which is enough for 50 children. This morning we've already vaccinated 13.
Many children here tell her they've already had several doses. For others, she's chasing up their parents for permission to administer the oral vaccine.
Polio cases were found in the outer areas of East Java, so we're now doing polio vaccinations all over Indonesia.
After a boy from the outlying island Madura was diagnosed with polio late last year, another 10 cases have been discovered.
I've never seen people suffering from polio with my own eyes. I've just heard about it. I'm scared because if my daughter gets it, she might be paralysed.
Other parents like me are worried about their kids getting polio, so we're all taking our children to be vaccinated.
But not all parents are so willing. Health worker Piki isn't just bringing vials of vaccine, she's also giving out information.
Some experts here wonder if the COVID pandemic disrupted the normal rollout of immunisations. Others say the vaccine take-up rate has always been a bit lower in East Java. Either way, public health officials are now trying to make up for lost time.
They're hoping to administer more than 4 million vaccinations in the city of Surabaya alone in the coming weeks, as a broader program rolls out across the nation. So far, all cases have been in Java and none in Bali. Once a disease causing hundreds of thousands of cases worldwide each year, endemic polio was thought to be eradicated in all but 2 countries in Asia. With this latest outbreak, Indonesia makes it 3.
The Palestinian death toll from the war between Israel and Gaza has soared past 25,000. The health ministry in the Gaza Strip said on Sunday, while the Israeli government appeared far from achieving its goals of crushing the militant group and freeing more than 100 hostages. The level of death, destruction and displacement from the war is already without precedent in the decades-old Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Yet Israeli officials say the fighting is likely to continue for several more months. The United States, which has provided essential diplomatic and military support, but has had limited success in persuading Israel to adopt military tactics that put civilians at less risk and to facilitate the delivery of more humanitarian aid. The Weather Bureau is warning of the potentially severe impacts as a tropical low moves towards the Queensland coast. It's expected to strengthen into a cyclone as early as tomorrow night and make landfall by the middle of the week. Authorities along the coast are spreading their emergency plans.
This is the slow-moving system building with intensity and bearing down on Queensland. It has a high chance of developing into a tropical cyclone from Monday and for much of next week.
The Bureau of Meteorology has released its official track map and expects the cyclone to make landfall somewhere between Cairns and Mackay by Wednesday or Thursday. By that stage, it could be a Category 3 system.
There's not only concerns about the amount of wind we're going to get, but also the rainfall. And then in the coastal areas of Queensland, there'll be high seas, rough swells.
Councils in its path are getting ready.
We shouldn't be complacent about this. It seems certain that this is a cyclone that's going to cross the Queensland coast sometime next week.
Plan and prepare, but don't panic at the moment. And, you know, we're keeping a very close eye on what's going on and listening to the experts.
Once it does cross the coast, the Weather Bureau says there's a high chance it'll move south, potentially as far as the Queensland-New South Wales border, dumping heavy rain along the way.
Right across the state, there is wet catchments already, which means that those areas are more prone to flash flooding.
But it's not just the cyclone threat causing concerns. Scorching temperatures across large parts of Queensland are forecast to get even worse on Monday, reaching as high as 39 degrees in the southeast corner.
Try to stay out of the direct sunlight in the middle of the day and seek cooler areas such as air conditioning or inside houses where it's nice and shady.
A cooler change is expected to move through late Monday.
In sports, Madang Town basketball courts have been finally constructed after a decade of struggle to get the sporting infrastructure up to get the games going. The MTB is excited to start basketball seasons and events at the new courts. Madang Town basketball president Charles Suguman said he is proud of the initiative to restore basketball courts in Madang after a decade. He said that despite unsuccessful attempts to ensure funding from the Madang provincial government and other donors, on numerous occasions, Mineral Resources Development Company has finally funded the project. The initiative aims to combat rising crime and lawlessness in the province. The youths in the Madang town can now engage in sporting activities, particularly basketball on the newly built courts, and avoid involving in petty crime. The youths and people of Madang are encouraged to take responsibility of the completed courts. Meanwhile, there are also 2 other new basketball projects underway, thanks to the local town authorities for their support. And that ends the midday news update. Join us for more at 6 p.m.